Okay.
Yeah, you told me you'd be here.
So these are all done. I'm just going to go ahead and archive this list. So we did good. We did stuff. This is in progress. This is actually done with one minor error. So the planet right now has StackTack on it. So if you StackTack something, it'll show up in the planet. However, there's a problem with the planet's aggregator where it strips out unknown.
It strip out script tags.
Well, it strips out unknown HTML entities. So right now for StackTack, you have basically a div that has like, you know, question ID equals this and answer ID equals that. That gets stripped out during the post aggregation. So that's a whole separate issue we have to look into. But otherwise, if you can sneak a post in there, you can use StackTack on the planet right now. So that's still an in progress item that I got to touch base with George on.
Oh, hey, George.
Hey, sorry, Mike.
Acceptable.
All right.
This is going to be finished this week. Something that I'm going to have to link up with Dan and David on.
I can edit that song now.
And that one, Marco,
Yes.
I'm not sure. I mean, the tool I made was okay, but I don't know if it's really going to apply the way we thought it was. So
Okay.
I wouldn't mind continuing to have that in the parking lot, but I'm still not 100% sure we're going to be able to make it really useful to local teams.
Would it be better if we just kind of took this information and made it easily available on the meta site so we can improve our current documentation on what Ask Ubuntu is and how to use it, and then make that URL easily available, or just change the content into a more consumable format for locos? Would that be a better idea?
Yeah, I mean, down the road, I think what I'd really like to see, and obviously I know it takes a lot of work that I'm not necessarily capable of, is I'd love to see the loco.ubuntu.com somehow have, you know, like the 3 unanswered questions
in your area. I know we
from
spoke
your
about
area.
that
Yeah.
last DDS, and it was an interesting idea.
So, I mean, the query works. The problem is the query's a little bit unintuitive for people to put in. So I think if Loco did it and they were able to control those variables, it would probably work better than if we're just giving it to Loco team leads that might not have database experience. Because I mean, you know, it's case sensitive. If you put in something like New York, you know, NY, different results come up than when you put in New York and you spelled it out.
Right.
Cities work great though. I mean, if I go ahead and put in Rochester, New York, that came up, and I only got people from Rochester, New York.
Well, it's an interesting issue because StackExchange doesn't formalize that location. So people say things like, my location is the internet.
Right.
So that becomes an issue where there is no formalized.
But that's okay. I mean,
and that's
people
fine.
that identify that, they've got a reason for not doing that.
Exactly. I don't mind that, but it makes it difficult to build tools that would query that, as it's a very big unknown of what could be in that field.
I mentioned the bigger problem is the person that says Rochester, New York with no comma and all lowercase, and then the person goes Rochester with a capital R, comma, New York, capital, and then you're trying to capture both of those, but. You know. And
one idea that we made, and I think a work item would be to investigate how difficult it would be to normalize that. So one thing that the StackExchange lens that we have, the Ask Ubuntu Unity lens does, is Stefano Palazzo and George, what's his name? George Edison. They both built these 2 separate services that will scrape and cache newest questions from the API. So it builds a backlog from the API, or works up data dumps, and it fills the gap. And every couple minutes, it does a quick search of what has happened since this time that I last searched. We might be able to tap into that and have them grab the information or grab the user information and try to normalize that field, so we can start doing better lookups against maybe zip codes or something like that.
Hey, real quick, so we have to put these as work items in the blueprint, not just a Trello. So
yes.
Which ones?
Which ones what? We'll just put them in. We'll put them in here. We'll move the Trello.
Oh, okay, okay.
I just had it up there to sneeze. So that may be something, and I'll end up probably getting someone from the community to help. So at least you can go ahead and sign up to me, and I'll find someone to pawn that off to look into how easy it would be to normalize dates.
And I actually kind of did normalize it. What I ended up doing in the query is where upper paren, U location, paren, like, upper, paren,
Yeah,
$sign. So I did that
right.
in the query, but it was just, the difficulty is telling someone, what they kind of have to put in.
Right, and we should be able to take that data and rerun against the API, be like, I have Rochester, or I have Rochester, New York, or I have this city or this state. What are the possible outcomes for this? And
Right.
then kind of discern. We can start doing things based on zip code lookup, which is it maps a bigger area and it gives a better grasp of the community around you, not just.
So what about, however,
Yes.
have we looked at stackgeography.com that basically does a lot of this for us?
Is that an app, a stack app?
Yeah, give me a projector.
Yes.
Oh no, that's HTML.
I get that's not HTML. There's a other.
Actually, yeah, just open a tab.
Yeah, too.
Go to stackgeography.com.
I'd love to.
But when people just put on their city,
With a
What?
geography.
Jeez. I can't type with my neck cramped like this.
Inside
Every
inside
session.
Just
Oh,
Is it okay? Unselect Stack Overflow, select Ask Ubuntu.
We should definitely tap into this then, no doubt. Or at least if it's,
If Google ever,
well, that's fine. Google doesn't have the API set up, but this stack geography likely has an entry and it's hopefully open source on stackapps.com.
Yeah.
So we can definitely look into that. Go ahead and get this for this. Thanks for working. So
Yeah, and it uses like GeoIP and stuff, so maybe that ought to be good enough, Yeah, it's
Yeah.
MIT licensed, it's open source.
yes.
I mean, the biggest thing is just making it so that you go ahead and you get information to loco teams of people that are asking questions that maybe don't know the loco exists, and then you answer a couple of questions. And,
That would be awesome.
You want to talk to Michael Hall on that one? Okay.
So the last work item left from last cycle, well, there's a couple left, but ones that are in progress still is the mass update replace for the old Bitly links, the software icon.
Yeah.
That's, I don't think it's going to be a go for us. We're going to have just the old icon in place, and we just use the new one going forward.
Okay.
Now that we have the proper redirect in place that I can control it
Okay.
outside of Bitly, it'll be fine.
Okay.
So I'm just going to put that as done. I'm done.
sorry, what are you saying about Michael Hall? Cool.
Talk to Michael Hall about the lens.
Okay.
He has visibility on the lens.
Because he does all the, covers a lot of the lens stuff.
Yeah.
We've been uploading it to ARB, so.
Okay. Okay.
But,
Wherever it goes, as long as people can get it, I don't
I
care.
just
where it
figured
goes.
that it might be useful to actually have in the distro.
Yeah, I think so too.
LTP, that's the local, right? LTP? Local portal? Local?
local team portal, yeah.
Okay. Another work item was add Ask Ubuntu badges next to usernames on LTP.
On what?
On the local portal, the local team portal. Add
Oh,
flare
add the-
badges.
I'll just change it to say local portal.
Thank you.
But do we list users on local portal?
I think it was something that you brought up last CDS.
I thought it was just that the team contact would be listed.
Well, in that case, then I don't understand what this work item was from the past. So if it makes no sense to anyone, I can move on.
Yeah, that doesn't, I think.
Yeah, I don't.
is there anything to be done to improve it showing up in Google and improve its SEO?
StackExchange does a lot of SEO magic on their entire.
A lot of that was just growing and being relevant, and now I'm seeing at least
top
we're on the
3,
first
top 5,
page,
yes,
yeah.
definitely.
Okay.
So we're definitely seeing a lot of that. StackExchange Cloud. Google tends to favor StackExchange given the nature of the site.
Right.
So a lot of times you'll see Stack Overflow and StackExchange and StackExchange sites being in the top results.
Yeah,
of that.
so if you
And they've
do-
gained steam.
What do we want to search on? Just as an example, we can do one. Just open a porn mode and.
My favorite is Juju local provider configuration.
Yeah, that one. That's because it doesn't exist anywhere else. So do something that might be common for a
Yeah.
typical user.
Ubuntu add PPA, it's on the first page.
No, it's not. But
Do like Ubuntu add PPA.
Or configure Unity.
So Ubuntu Geek.
so we're right below right below home Ubuntu, but
Yeah.
they far outweigh us in traffic still.
It's okay, we're getting there.
Yeah. So what was another one I heard?
Configure Unity.
Oh yeah, configure Unity is one of our high time.
Anything
Hard-hitting
newer than
functions.
Unity, I think, is pretty much.
So we're number one for how to configure Unity.
Yeah.
Stuff that's been around forever, like depackage questions and stuff, we probably won't.
Right. So, I mean, we're seeing that, and with recent surges in both our traffic and our site size and our quality of questions and answers, we're seeing a lot more stuff starting to filter to the top of Google as our ranking increases. And it's all a natural growth that we're going to have to just endure while we get bigger and bigger, and we're doing pretty well right now. The last one was talking to someone in IRC about having tweeted questions mentioned in IRC support channels. I'm not sure if that's still something we want to pursue. Or
We do, but we need someone from.
IRC Council probably.
Yeah, so Alan Bell liked the idea and stuff. We just need to find someone to implement it.
Those with the Ubuntu bots.
Yeah,
That's
the
what we use,
Uba. Yeah,
right? What runs that? Is there a project on Launchpad that has the code for that?
yeah. That's all open and public. You just need to.
Is it early?
I don't know what it is.
Okay.
You just need to talk to Alan Bell, and he's here.
Okay, I will grab him and ask him specifics about that, and then if I'm not able to do it, I will find someone willing and able to. If anyone wants to volunteer to take a look at that now, if not, I'll either pursue it myself or find someone who can help me do it. I didn't think so.
Thank you for
Okay.
volunteering.
So that wraps up all of our outstanding items from last UDS.
Single sign-on?
I went over that. We're
Okay.
in the progress. The guys connected. They ran into some database issues.
Okay.
It was going to be due in March, but I'm going to ping him when I get back. But he
Okay.
should be nearing completion for that conversion.
Okay, so let's. All right.
Now, what do you mean by single sign-on?
Right now we use Launchpad. Right now in the login page,
Right,
login
right.
Launchpad, we
Yeah.
want them to stay Ubuntu
Proper
instead.
real Ubuntu login.
All right.
So and that's something that it's easy to switch to, but they're worried about converting all the old Launchpad users over to the new SSO without losing their ability to log in. So that's where the tedious nature of the task comes into place.
Okay. Did we go over the Ask Ubuntu's Twitter instead of the Stack Ubuntu?
I haven't pinged them on that. We should, but I don't know who owns the Ask Ubuntu name.
Pretty sure one of us might do. I just don't know who.
Okay, so work item would be to find out first of all who owns that, and I'll see if I can.
I am pretty sure it's James Gifford.
He will be
Because that's how I reached out to him.
I thought that he was meant to be.
He will be in here in 10 minutes, I think. But I will ask if he pops in before the end of the session. We'll ask him. If not, we'll track down who has that.
On IRC, yeah.
You should
But,
be on it.
If we do, I agree. We should see if we get StackExchange to use that instead.
Mhm.
I worry that those who were interested in following Twitter have already started following the Stack Ubuntu.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
Well, maybe you can have two. I don't know.
I don't know either. It may be fine just to have.
We should
them
have the
as-
discussion. It's too much of a pain in the ass, and it
Get Stack Ubuntu to retweet everything from Ask Ubuntu.
What was that?
Get Stack Ubuntu to retweet everything from Ask
Yeah.
Ubuntu.
That's one way to do it. Another way we can do it is if we delete that account, we
Yeah.
can rename Stack Ubuntu to be Ask Ubuntu.
Yeah, that would work.
Okay, that
That's
would
another
work.
way we can do that. That's what I
Okay.
just remembered. So, okay, so new work items. Anything of interest that people are curious about that want to see improved or changed or have questions about as far
Yeah.
as Ask Ubuntu and policies go?
I'd like to see. This depends on like volume and stuff, but I'd like to see things from the crash tag, boot failure, bug, freeze. After they're posted, without the grace period, go directly into the cleanup thing.
Okay, so essentially we need Ollie to broaden the scope of how cleanup works.
Right.
So what would be a grace period then, as far as someone to come along and
First of
edit?
all, most of those, like 90% of the ones I'm looking at, are off topic and need to be punted to Launchpad. So
Okay.
they're like a cleanup path to begin with. I mean, some of the other tests I'm having is we're getting a lot of mention. Like for some reason in AppWord it says if you have problems, go to Ask Ubuntu.
That is an interesting.
I found the bug on that. We just need to talk to Pity and see if we can SRU it because that's not what's supposed to.
That's not cool.
I'm
Same with
curious-
the page on the web that says.
Oh, if you have,
Yeah.
I think it's like if you have I don't know. It's not phrased even questions. Like if you have a, I think it's like if you have a problem.
Well, and that I think stems from a session that we had last UDS about engaging the community.
Yeah, which we're supposed to be doing. However, it's so vague that people think if my
It's a
computer
bug.
breaks, I go to
Yes.
Ubuntu, which is
Right.
not the case.
I'm curious because I think, I mean, it's not a bad thing to be an app port, but I think the wording isn't correct.
Yeah.
The
That's exactly
workflow-
what my bug
Yeah.
says. My
The
bug says.
workflow is fine. It's you know, it asks you something like, how does this bug occur, or something of that fashion, or how do you recreate it? And then there's a whole list, and the one that says, I don't know. And when you click I don't know, it says, oh, go to Ask Ubuntu. It should
Okay.
be, for questions about, it should be phrased in a way that says, you know, bugs go on Launchpad. Questions about Ask Ubuntu can be asked here, or linked to the community page, or whichever way it goes. But
again, keep in mind, I mean, one of the things we did in that session last UDS is end users increasingly, as our community grows and we gain more people that are less technical, they're not going to know what a bug is
Right.
versus a problem. They're just
That
going
is
to
a
know I
big
have
problem,
a
actually.
problem.
Yes.
And
That is probably our biggest problem
right now,
And-
definitely.
And that's one of the things that I see as a challenge for us is, you know, the bugs on Launchpad, you can convert them to a question. So if in the future there was any way for us to do something that allows us to go ahead and take something that someone's put on Ask Ubuntu, clean it up, but also have it go as a bug report automatically versus trying to make someone repost it, I don't know. Or
Right.
maybe point them to an Ask Ubuntu thing that details this is how you file a bug report.
So
That's
Your
exactly
bug
what
is
we're
a
doing
bug
That's
right
our,
now.
so
That's
I'll
exactly
explain the
what
current
we're
work process is essentially that someone says they have a bug. Someone first of all realizes it's a bug.
Yeah.
They work out that this is a bug. And then we have a kind of a canned comment that says, you know, welcome to Ask Ubuntu. This is a bug. Bugs are off topic, with a link to the topic that discusses why they're off topic. And then a second link that says, here's how you report a bug. And it links to a kind of a question that says, you know, how do I report a bug? It goes into about app ports, how Launchpad works, and things like that. So we have that set up already. The problem is we get a rather high volume of bugs. In fact, I would say the majority of the stuff that we deal with nowadays is people asking bugs on Ubuntu. So
Yeah, especially when we do a release.
Now,
well,
what
releases
about
are always the
bugs
worst.
workarounds? Because like, what about bug
That's fine.
workarounds?
If someone has a question and it's like, how do I work around this bug?
Well, that's
I still think those belong in the
they
bug
do,
report.
and that's what we have now. Is
Right, because I'll give you an example that when we were still testing, not when we were released, well, actually for a while when we were released 12.04, because it's just coming out as an SRU right now.
right.
295.40 for certain NVIDIA cards just made your screen look like you were watching a slideshow.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I reported the bug, we got it to NVIDIA, it got elevated, Albert took care of it, but there were a lot of questions that I answered on Ask Ubuntu with, my computer's really slow, what do I do? And I pointed them to the bug and then told them, okay, but to work around this until the fix is committed, go back to 295.20 and you know, pointed them to the NVIDIA site to download it and gave them a 64-bit and a 32-bit and then tried to give them the instructions on how to run it.
Which is good, but to the point of that, what I wanted to comment on, and what I've kind of used as policy, but I haven't made it as loud as this is what I do for these things. When I leave a bug comment, I say, follow this bug for solutions and workarounds, because ideally the workaround should be in the bug, because the bug is the canonical location for everything that's revolved around that.
Well, and I put the workarounds in the bug as well, and that's
Yes.
what my question was,
Yeah.
do I still put it on Ask Ubuntu, or should I totally just point
It
them?
depends. If you see a ton of incoming ones and stuff, then we have to have it on there.
It's
If anything to stop
a corner case, yeah.
Right.
Do something like that.
Yeah, there were like 4 or 5 questions within a 3-day period all on.
Oh, that's an easy
Yeah.
one.
The majority of the time, though, I would say just simply put, if you know the bug already, if you happen to have a link to the Launchpad bug,
Yep.
put that as a comment, or even go so far as to put it as an answer. Say, there's a workaround posted. This is the bug. There's a workaround posted for this. But the question is,
Dupe all the other ones to that one bug.
yeah, dupe them all, and we'll merge them in there so everyone gets redirected to that canonical question.
Yeah.
And again, to be clear, link them, don't actually put the workaround. Because I know one time when I was first starting Ask Ubuntu, I linked someone to a solution and I was redirected to actually give credit to the solution, but put the solution in Ask Ubuntu so we weren't forcing someone to go off.
And
We would well, this comes into how we do things.
Yeah.
Ideally, yes, you would want to put the snippet, the perp snippet, depending on the content licensing for the site. If it's a complete copyright, then you typically can't do that. But
We're
Yeah.
finally launching.
I don't know what the content. I can't say for sure I know what the licensing for the content on Launchpad is.
I think CC has to be.
If it's CC, then
Pretty
yes.
sure,
If it's CC, then as long as you put attribution, you can say this is the workaround.
Yeah.
Follow this bug and make sure that you push that. This is where the bug is. This is the workaround. And that would be.
But what you don't want is
them
them having to scroll through 400 pages
Right.
of stuff saying, here's the quote, but here's the source, here's the link to the one question that's, how do I follow along with the bug report?
Right.
And then, add another link to this is how I report it.
And I agree, because sometimes the workarounds in Launchpad bugs are way down.
Yes,
As
and you can
figure
link to
out
individual
exactly how to
comments in
work
Launchpad, but then
Yeah.
you also lose the rest of the thread going forward. So
Right.
it's hard to sometimes discern that. But linking to the actual comment or linking to the bug report in general and following it. So James, we're talking about instances where you have a very high-profile bug, like the NVIDIA bug you said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it just answering one of the higher rated questions with the bug fix around and the link to the bug, and then closing all the rest as a duplicate of that bug. That way people can get the answer, but we still push the bug policy that bugs belong on Launchpad, etc.
now, and again, there's a complication in there with the NVIDIA stuff, because like people were asking, what do I do with an 8600? What do I do with a 6700? What do I do with an 8800? So all of those different cards were in the bug.
Right. It just took a
but
while to set
it was
them all
different questions. So my fear was if I go ahead and mark them as duplicates and someone searches, are they still going to find that?
Yes, the duplicate detection works pretty well. In fact, the way that we do it right now is if you Google it and you hit a duplicate, if you come in from Google with a duplicate that has no answers on it and that's been merged, you'll still get the duplicate
It'll just
question,
auto-forward you.
but StackExchange
Right.
will 301 direct you to the right
Right.
answer. So we still get that
And the
nice
301
Google
gets
magic.
us the Google juice.
Yeah, so we can still get the nice Google magic with the search results, and we get the people the right answer without losing. So it's a really good win-win situation for us.
Cool.
Now, do we have a policy for bugs or problems, say with 12.10? I mean, how early are we going to start solving the bug problems for that?
We don't solve bug problems.
Yes.
We answer
Bugs
questions.
are always on topic.
Of course, but
Right.
do we still link the workarounds, of course, if we can. But how early do we start linking those workarounds?
The current policy we're doing, if it's like, so when
I mean,
you,
if they're
It's
updated
gonna
at
be a big
12.10 when it's alpha 1,
yeah, so we basically start off being really strict, and as UI freeze and feature
Yes.
freeze lands,
Mhm.
then actually at some point during beta, I usually post on Meta saying,
Incoming, check out.
yeah, it's time to start going through the high view questions and updating them for 12.10.
Okay.
So that's why we are pretty much prepared on 12.04 launch day.
We
So-
don't support Ubuntu +1,
So it's pretty much.
and we typically don't answer questions
Full
about
beta
Ubuntu
one.
+1.
because
It's
Yeah, it's like
Ubuntu.
automatically locally. And then what we do is before the next release, we delete all those, so
Right.
they're not clogging up the results with, some guy in Alpha 1 tried Firefox.
So what we do is if whenever people have problems or questions with an alpha or beta release, we link them to this question, which goes on, this is an alpha beta release, expect breakage, here's how you deal when something breaks. So we typically don't even want to field the Ubuntu +1 questions. I
Right.
mean, we get more lenient as beta 2 and near release.
Like scroll down a little bit here. Yeah, see, so we tell people, and then there's different.
Then usually you can go to
Yeah.
find Ubuntu +1.
For the alpha people, they need to go to the sub forum or Ubuntu +1. That's where they should go. Not for us.
We should have to, this is not 6% pin one anymore either.
Yeah, and then we give people tips on shit they need to like subscribe
So
to.
here's RC, here's the announcement list, here's package uploads if you're into that. Here's
And that all
generally have
links
links to
directly
programs.
to official Ubuntu docs. So
or
that's
as,
good.
they're all docs or wiki links to Ubuntu project. If these are crap
That's
questions.
just a crappy answer.
What's wrong with this question? Looks fine.
Most of all, you need to have patience and do daily updates.
Where do you see? Oh, this one down here.
That one.
Oh,
There's no
this one.
information there. What at all?
Mark
There's no information.
Patience. Patience.
All right, I guess.
Okay. Anyways.
All right, sold me.
Alrighty.
put a bowl of patience or something.
So yes, we really ideally we don't want to be fielding Ubuntu +1. There are better people in the community suited and better methods suited to handle those questions.
So when I get those questions, should I just answer them such as with that post?
You post a comment saying these are off topic, link to the FAQ, and then link to that question, and then flag it for closure.
Cool.
And then later on, when you get more rep, you'll get a close link. Close.
Yeah,
Then
okay.
you'll paste it.
What is the number for close? Do you know?
2,000?
2,000. Okay.
I think it's either 2 or 3K.
Well, I don't know if it's, I haven't tried closing. I was finally able to edit without needing approval.
So you're at 2,000 then.
Yeah.
3,000 must be closing.
Let me look.
3,000.
3,000.
3,000? Okay,
And he's
great.
quite
Yeah, at
quick.
3,000 you basically start to become a moderator.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much the threshold where you can start doing a lot of cool stuff. So
Okay.
start answering questions and asking good ones. So, what are we, any work items from that discussion? I forgot kind of what we were discussing.
So,
We were discussing Ubuntu +1.
Okay,
I know Ollie isn't here, but let's just tag this with him and we can talk to him later.
Yeah, the one about adding crash
Bug
and
crash.
freeze and stuff. Yep.
Bug freeze. You know what? I have a meta for this.
Yeah, put the meta question in there. He'll go pick it up. So I guess I kind of, it's too bad Chipaka's not here.
Yeah, he was supposed to be.
It's unfortunate. But I will play devil's advocate.
But there's definitely a work item he needs. He needs,
Ubuntu 1.
yeah, he needs access to fresher data dumps. The
Yes.
cleanest
Oh,
one I
I
can
looked
find
at
is
that.
November.
September 2011.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't want to believe it, but I think due to the grand size of StackExchange,
Yeah.
I think they're doing every 6 months now. Otherwise, the data dumps become.
Well, as long as we know what that interval is, so fine.
But we have, instead of, what is he trying to do with data dumps? Is he trying to do offline stuff or?
Yeah, offline stuff. He already knows how to do the queries and things like that.
Well, because we have the awesome Ask Ubuntu Unity Lens that does a search feature that caches off.
Yeah, what
sites.
he wants to do is the opposite. Like, not to answer questions and stuff. He wants to glean that data to find out what users are having problems with, so he can.
Well, we
yeah,
can
that's
get that
it.
data. Do you have a link, James? I had a hard time finding it.
Yeah.
Unless they don't blog about it anymore. They may have blogged
It's
about
just
it.
like getting the torrent.
They're rare.
Yeah, but do you have a download link for the data dump? That's what we need.
We need offline access. If you can find that, James, you would be a hero. So we might be able to, if we can't find a recent data dump.
We can do, if they say it takes every 6 months, then we
Every
know
6
we have to
months,
pay
yes.
attention every 6 months.
I will get in contact to see if I can find a more steady interval. But if that doesn't come out to be where they say we dump whenever we feel like it because we have no time,
Yeah.
we do have the Ask Ubuntu Unity Lens, which has a separate search feature that does its own database caching.
Right.
So we can grab that information at any time. I run the server for, so we can grab that at any time in
Okay.
a consumable format and provide him with those dumps. So just Ask Ubuntu dumps in general.
Okay. Get dumps to Chipaka. I'll just put that.
Okay.
Crash, freeze, boot failure is another fail one.
Bug.
Bug,
I like when users make it easy.
garbage directly into the cleanup tool instead of waiting for them to get rot and become crap.
Okay, I'm going to open up that meta question, and I figure we can have a small discussion concerning it because, to an extent, I kind of agree with Chipaka, but I will play devil's advocate to
Sure.
really hash out.
I have it. It's a
the-
2922 on Meta. Let me see if Chipaka's on IRC.
Does he hear UDS or?
Yeah.
Is it a 2192?
Yep. 2992 on Meta.
No, it's going to be more than that. It's going to be one number in there. 2992?
2992.
Yeah.
Freeze bug and associated tags out of control again. Yeah. That's it.
No, what about the one for the one that Chipaka was arguing with you, or letting discussing?
Oh,
I want to play devil's advocate for that for a little bit.
it's on the. It's like at the first 4.
Is it?
Yeah. No. It's the bug report one. Keep going. That one. What to do with questions that describe bugs?
Oh, that's right. I don't know how else you can picture the question, but. Oh, this is a very old question.
Yeah, but it's a new comment.
Yes. So, it's going to be a little bigger for you guys. And for those following along at home,
Alright, I'm gonna get caffeine and then get ready to argue. I pinged Chipaka, so we'll see if he shows up.
and for those at home, this is what we're talking about. I'm not in the room.
1317.
Sorry? Nope. Ubuntu UDS, what are we, room 202. There you go. So as a background to this issue, this is essentially this is our effort about a year ago, I guess now, a little over a year ago. What we do questions describe bugs, and essentially the solution is they're off topic.
Right.
Comment,
So what started to happen is open up the sites, StackExchange/sites somewhere. So, and then, all right, so the answer rate, to me.
Well, you want to know what our real answer rate is.
Yeah.
We're at like 81, I think now.
Yeah, we're taking a pounding, but not like we did the last releases. So this is actually pretty good. So if you go back to sites, most of them are 80, 80, 82, 83, 95. Okay, so the 100% doesn't count because those sites are like very new and they're very tiny and stuff. But we were getting whaled on answer rate.
We were the bottom.
And with a site like Super User, we were second to last. Only WordPress was worse. But sites like Super User, which are basically Windows, Mac, and Linux, still hovering around 80%. So to me, us staying, in line with everybody else, even better as we do as 82%, should be like one of our major goals. So at one point we were getting whaled on, and that hit like 72%. We're second to the last. So I started asking around, and Martin Poole basically said the problem is that I read the new questions, and instead of being interesting things that I care about, like how do I do this, how do I do that, it's basically my computer doesn't boot help.
Yeah.
So that's when we decided, you know what, let's be strict jerks about it. Well, I say jerks in like, look, bug reports, if something freezes or site faults, it goes in a Launchpad, we're not a bug tracker.
To the users, we're jerks, but
right. We shouldn't try to be all things for everyone. We're a question and answer site. We're more about, I want to figure out how to do this, let me do this.
Well, troubleshooting like that's what the forums are for anyway. In a lot of ways.
Well, we also have a chat that we can use for further troubleshooting. But yes, for things with in-depth troubleshooting, the site doesn't. I mean, it works, but there are better tools in the Ubuntu community to do troubleshooting on the fly. IRC, for instance, is a great example of a live threaded chat, and forums are great for threaded conversations. Ask Ubuntu. We're not really good with threaded conversations. We have comments that are burnable.
It's impossible to do threaded conversations.
Yeah, it is impossible to do threaded conversations, and that's why we are not good for handling bugs.
Right.
And that Launchpad exists.
So as soon as we did that, then we went through all the tags, freeze, bug, all that stuff, and I found nothing after nothing but question after question with no answers that are basically, this is broken. And we went through, we closed them all, and we deleted them all. That took about a month, and now we're sitting at we were pushing almost 85%, and then the release came out, and now we're kind of getting spammed again, but we're
still over 82.
We're managed.
Yeah, but we didn't get whaled on like we did last time. Right? We have a clear policy now, where before we're like, whatever. But now that we care about the accept rate, so I'm keen on staying this strict, because the second that it's like a slippery slope, it becomes poor man's Launchpad that developers aren't paying attention to, which is even worse than a bug tracker that people are supposed to pay attention to, but they're just overwhelmed. So I'm really keen on keeping that, hold the line, be good at QA, nothing else. However, Chapaka has a dissenting opinion.
Well, he's an alternative view on how some questions aren't. We carry a very heavy, this looks like a bug, it smells like a bug, it is a bug mentality. And then we don't really do, well, not say due diligence, but there are corner cases where some bugs can be answered that it's not a bug, it's just this is the way it works. Right. And it needs to be reported as a bug if you want to change. Yes. But providing an explanation to the user may be an alternative source to say, this is how this came about, this is a design decision, so turn this doesn't work into a more constructive question of why is this way. And I can see a use case for it, but in a community like this, it becomes very difficult to discern which one is which, and then it becomes a gray line, in my opinion.
Well, is the answer to answer these questions, this is a bug that a bug report needs to be filled out on, have just a directions on how to fill out a Launchpad bug? I've done that a bajillion times in forums.
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
we have. Actually,
That's what we do for bugs.
Right. But I guess,
that's all I do during launch. I was like, that's a bug report. Vote to close.
And I guess
That's
the-
a vote to close.
the thing is, I think, and I've had people tell me this. They don't like they're
Just look at my
afraid
last action. Sorry.
when that stuff happens in Ask Ubuntu, it makes them fear it. That's the reason.
Oh, how do we move stuff on there?
I don't know if I'm saying this right.
That's a next to-do item for me.
That people fear using Ask Ubuntu because they fear to look stupid.
It's, I mean,
Well, I mean,
just
You're
look,
saying
just look at my
because-
activity.
you're saying because they ask a bad question and it gets closed, or
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Comments.
I see some of that being the same thing that we had when people come onto the forums.
Right.
I mean, and I don't know how you tell people that, and I think one of the things that we as a community do well is we come up with explanations for why something is closed, and we do try to guide the person. And I know a couple of the questions that were closed that I kind of had a question with. I went into the chat and I asked some questions about it.
Right.
And I think we do tell the people, hey, if you want this
comments.
reopened, go ahead and edit
Also
it
do
and
top
do
right.
this.
Right.
And I think I agree with you, we don't want people turned off, we don't want them upset, but at the same time, we have to make them understand the culture of the
You went
device
to the
they're
original.
using so that they fit in
Right.
and ask the questions. It's like searching Google.
Right.
If you don't use the right terms,
Right.
you're not going to find decent answers.
Right.
Well, I'm wondering if the answer is like
So we
a
have
promotion of Ask Ubuntu, and just like explain what this, a better explanation what it is to user community.
A better explanation of why that
And-
changed.
Well, just what's proper going to Ask Ubuntu, why you have certain rules.
We put this as answers to each question.
We have all those. We just need to do a better job telling people why that is.
We do, and I think what we need to do, and something that just recently came out.
That's why I need people blogging more on Planet about the policies.
So we have several meta threads that explain what is Ask Ubuntu, how to ask a question, how to answer a question, what to expect, how to search.
And just to walk through it, and not to interrupt you, Marco,
No, go ahead.
because I think it's actually fairly well done, although maybe it's a little difficult for people to find. But when you hit the question, you have your box, and then to the right it says how to ask your question. Is your question about Ubuntu? And then it says read the FAQ. If your question is about this website, ask it on that instead. Read the FAQ. Maybe in that little box we could do something more like saying, if this is your first question, it would definitely be a benefit for you to read the FAQ.
No, because when you ask your first question, it doesn't need to let them. It forces them to.
It forces you to read this giant page and click. I have knowledge.
Look at how to ask. If you're a brand new user.
It's so long ago that I don't.
Yeah. I always forget.
I was actually just
slap
going to try to log in for the first time, like fake log.
Yeah.
I don't actually see a login button on this site. I've never thought of
It's
this.
up in the top.
Let's see, review chat.
No, it's at the bottom.
Well, this is not. Don't log in with this. This is just the anonymous logins.
Oh, okay.
This is the login
Triangle
button.
next to your name.
It's in the drop.
So this should stop me.
When someone knows to register an account.
Well, it did stop me. Thank you for stopping me. But in previous, maybe they just changed it again.
No, start typing in there.
I have.
There it is. Asking help.
Where?
Here, but there used to be a screen that popped up.
Yeah, this one. How to ask.
No, but there used to be a screen whenever you posted a question as an anonymous user, it made you check the boxes that I have read and acknowledge the screen. That goes through and says, well, ask Ubuntu is, well, ask Ubuntu is.
Here. I could do it better.
Okay.
You post an actual question.
Okay, all right. I tried, and then it didn't let me do it.
You type blarg. You're not even passing the machine. The machine stopped you.
Oh, my computer.
Oh, we had a question like that. That was no. It helped. My machine has crashed. just last week I had a title on something, and all of a sudden it's help my computer crash. And what was amazing is the person had a very, very detailed description of what happened, what they were doing, and I'm like, and you made the question, help my computer crash? It was
Yeah,
just
the title.
it was like the title was so different than the
Yeah,
question.
submit it. That's what I do 90% of the time there.
I went in, I
Not just
read it,
server
I
side.
summarized it, I put it back up in the title, and but it was just such a contrast that someone would put that much effort into describing everything and just have a title that was meaningless.
Ubuntu Firefox question. Yeah.
What did you do?
Battling the unknown too.
And you blogged about the whole that question.
We could do this.
Yeah, people do it all the time. They're like, or even worse, after you get the information out of them, they realize it's a totally different question, and then they leave it up there. It's like a Ubuntu Firefox problem when it really should be, how do I get Chrome to save a bookmark? You know?
Oh yeah, or the questions where I go ahead and I spend a half an hour looking up the information, verifying that it
Do
works.
you want me to type it in for you?
And then they decided to
I'll do it right here.
Some weird navigations.
Oh, that really didn't help me.
No.
Here's
But when users, I think the users will all tell you.
Ubuntu's running slow for me right now.
Yeah.
I think it's the network.
Users also have a habit of
Yeah, it's less network.
We could be getting throttled too.
Let me turn off Savin ZBU.
Users just don't ask complete questions and it's like
That's fine. You get free download for questions. So.
up until you hit 2K. Then when you edit, you don't get any more.
You get free downloads, so downloads don't cost you on questions, they only cost you on answers. Which is sad because we need downloads on answers.
Yeah. Oh, I have no problem doing that.
I know you don't.
I downloaded stuff when it cost me points, when it was really bad.
Come on over here. Come on. Give me that one. Wait, okay.
Why are you replacing text and just adding?
oh,
You're not even passing the heuristics, dude. Your question is too short.
It's not even loading. Everything's going. Anyways, okay. So
I think James
This is
decided
a
I'm done
tangent
for today
now.
and shut off the network.
because chat's timing out for me too, and so is IRC.
and it's about 5
And then
minutes.
James says the audio thing is down. So
Yeah, I asked Wayne to just turn this off and it's time to go home.
okay. Well, to make a long story short, we try. We have tools that have a format. How to
By
ask
the time,
questions, but
I've actually sat down and done this. By the time the question is posted on the front page, they've seen that asking help one,
Yeah.
the formatting help one, and the reason they're still so poor is they don't care.
yeah, we can force them all they want. The user's going to scroll down and click.
So that's why if I see an incoming question, that I saw one the other day, it wasn't even a question. The guy just pasted the error from his software in there, downvote. Because all that does is take away time for me to help someone that they don't even have to know what they're doing. Doesn't matter if they're new. They just got to meet me in the middle. Just don't give up on the question for me.
Yeah.
And it's
I'll
almost
see if I can ask the question.
yeah. The extreme case there that they call help vampires is all that does is take time from us experts helping people who are trying to get help.
Right.
If someone's just pasting their code and all this stuff with no context or any, the only case where that might be a problem, we have a bunch of non-English speaking people. But even then, you can tell when they're trying to improve their
Yes.
question. That's fine. I'm not asking someone to write Shakespeare.
Almost everybody that can't speak English well goes ahead and says, sorry for my bad English.
Yeah. And then I edit it out and then fix our question.
Yeah,
Right.
a couple grammatical mistakes, but most of the times, and those who even post to foreign languages, we technically
Right.
don't support foreign languages, but I usually let the question sit for a couple days, because odds are someone who is bilingual, will come by and fix that question and translate it for us.
Yep.
So, and if it doesn't get answered in a couple days, I usually come by and say, I'm sorry, we don't say English speaking forum, there are alternatives, and link them to their alternative if I can discern the language name. But yes, so we try every measure we can to help users ask good questions. If they
In fact,
ignore us, there's no choice.
The system doesn't even let. Like if you type, they won't tell us exactly the heuristic, but if there's like no punctuation, if they're using leet speak, actually like if a person they keep asking questions and they keep getting downvoted by the community and just generally being a nuisance, the system just automatically bans their IP.
So like those people that kept posting for a while, my Ubuntu sucks.
Yeah, that's just a flag and delete.
Oh, we delete their accounts.
Yeah.
I have no problem purging their accounts and questions.
Yeah.
I think a little bit of joy.
I saw one of those float by. I went to answer a real question. I came back and refreshed the screen.
Because that's what happens on Stack Overflow. That's what happens on Stack Overflow. People are like, I can't ask any more questions. Like it'll say you're not allowed to ask any more questions. And they'll post on Meta and said you posted nothing but copy and pasted the text from your computer science textbook that I also have. Go away. And I think like, that might sound unfriendly at first, but we can't lose the forest for the trees. If one guy says, I went to ask Ubuntu and it was unfriendly, but they didn't take the time and effort, all that does is remove us. We have to invest in the people that are passionate and care.
If we want the help.
If we want that.
We're there to work to get the help. I mean, it's a two-way street as far as
exactly.
getting help is concerned.
If someone posts once and then like they don't update their question in 2 weeks, like me, when I ask a question, it becomes a living notepad. Like every time I'm searching on Google, okay, I tried this, didn't work, boom. So like when someone wants help, their question should be at the top of the site, like all the time.
And I'm wondering if maybe we should do, I know we did a video when Ask Ubuntu first went beta.
Yeah.
On how to
I don't have time to redo the video.
I know you don't. I'm wondering though if we should maybe redo that video with the new site theme, take the time to highlight new policies in Ask Ubuntu, and then we can make it easier for users to see, oh, this is how I use Ask Ubuntu.
So
that may be something.
Then remember, most of the traffic, like what, 95% or something like that comes from Google. So it doesn't. If the people who care ask the question, assuming these aren't bug reports, how do I change my font? I only need one person who cares about that to write an awesome.
Yeah.
And then all the other, right. This is why, if we keep the bug reports out and make it be, how do I use my computer? How do I do this? How do I do that? Then that's easy because that's only every permutation of the software.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, granted. Okay, so any last minute work items? Any last minute questions?
Did you put a work item up for making the video?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I will do that on mine though, and I'm not a very good video person.
Well, why don't you and I try to work on it together?
I'm congested, so right now not a good time. But
I'm assuming we're doing a screencast.
It's very similar. If you've seen our current video, which was like a year, 2 years ago almost now. But yeah, it's essentially a screencast. You said that's Ubuntu. This is how you ask a question. Go over some basic policies. This is how you answer. This is voting. This is flagging. And this is editing. And that's it. That's essentially it. Just the core functionality. People seeing it more visual than.
So you can put me down for that, Marco. If you want to go do it with me, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to help you work out different items that would be included in the video. Definitely.
Yeah, because there may be things that I haven't run across, so I'm not as versed with them yet.
Sure. No, I'd be more than happy to. So I'll put you down there and just ping me and we can work on that.
Yeah, Marco.
All right.
If you need any help, ping me.
Yes, definitely.
Put me.
Video.
Sorry.
That was done. That was done. All right, charm contest.
Yeah, can you give me
It's done. It's over with.
I'm good. Now that the charm contest's over, I should actually go there tomorrow and there'll be less people so I can get my charm finished.
Exactly.
That's the spirit.
I already have a laptop.
So, you can add it to the Trello board. You do it?
Yeah, I think it's public. You can just.
Yeah, I couldn't add myself.
Oh, okay. I can add you.
Yeah. Can I be added to the organisation or just to the board?
Yeah, if I add you to Ubuntu, you can just see them all.
I can see them all anyway, but
You could join the board directly, but if you join the organization as well, it's just as easier to.
but just I need to.
They can make you a member. You can just start.
Yeah, I just need to get upstream methodologies stored as well.
Oh, that means someone granted you access to that one, but not the whole organization.
The granted access to do it, but the ARB got to be added to.
Yeah, I'll do that.
But cheers, thanks.